If you try to live your life more minimalistic, Christmas can feel quite overwhelming. It's that time of the year where overconsumption peaks and it's very hard to resist. After 6 years of living minimalistic, I know that it's absolutely possible to celebrate Christmas in a simple yet beautiful way. So in today's video, I share my 10 best tips on how to have a minimalist Christmas. My tip number 1 is that you use leftover branches to create a Christmas arrangement. Now, store-bought decor I don't think is very practical because you have to store it the whole year long. What we did instead is that we went to a local tree farm where they sell Christmas trees. But there, of course, they have some leftover branches that they have to cut off from the Christmas tree. So we bought these leftover branches and created a little Christmas arrangement out of it. My mom borrowed me some stuff for this year, like the ornaments and the vase, but you can absolutely do it without it. You can just have the branches and create like a little advent wreath. You then just add 4 candles and you can light up 1 candle each Sunday during the advent time. And honestly, I think it's just such a low waste, low buy option in order to bring this Christmassy mood into the apartment. These advent wreaths can be a very great alternative for a Christmas tree. But if you still want a Christmas tree, I have another idea for you guys. Buying a new tree every year only for it to die after a few days is quite wasteful. But plastic is not really a better option. So here is what my parents did for us this year. They actually planted a little tree in our garden. You can choose a small one that can grow with you over the years. You can also keep it in a pot on your balcony. We added a string of lights that we can turn on in the evening and we can even see it from our living room. This is a more sustainable option, but also I feel like the tree becomes more meaningful every year because it just grows with you and it gets part of the family. Now that we have all the tree options settled, what about the rest of the apartment? How can we bring it into a Christmas mood? Idea number 3 is to paint your windows with Kefir. Now, most window decorations are also quite wasteful and they use up some space. I saw this technique on Instagram. Apparently, it's a very popular technique in Denmark and I had to try it. I used a small brush. I borrowed it from my mom, put the Kefir in a small bowl, and then I just painted some shapes like the trees and some snow. You only need very, very little product. At the beginning, I made the mistake that I used too much and then it smudged, but if you use very little Kefir and then you let it dry, it actually turns out white and you can see it very nicely. It does need some practice. The first window wasn't so nice, but then after some windows it gets easier. I'm honestly obsessed because I feel like it creates such a nice winter look, but it's also not overpowering. Okay, now that the apartment does look quite Christmassy, what about the rest? How do I get into a Christmassy spirit? So my tip number 4 is to create small festive routines. The holiday spirit does not come from buying new things, but from actually creating rituals. One thing I like to do is that even while I work, instead of using a traditional Pomodoro timer, which I really like as a productivity technique, I just use a Christmassy one with these nice Christmas visuals and the nice Christmas music. Another idea for a ritual is that you go on evening walks and you see how slowly your whole neighborhood turns into this Christmas light paradise. If you're someone who is drawn to shopping, just make sure that you do it after the shops are closed so that you don't want to go shop for all these things. The same goes for Christmas market. Maybe go during times when it's closed so that you're actually enjoying the lights and the environment and you're not distracted by shopping. Small routines like this really bring me into a festive mood without buying anything or being overwhelmed with it. But what if now your friends ask you if you go for Christmas shopping together? So my tip number 5 is that you actively think of some low buy, no buy activities that you can do with your friends. And then you actively suggest it to them. Because honestly, shopping is just something that probably most people come up because they don't really know what to do. But instead, you can do something like bake some cookies together. Other ideas is that you book a workout class together or a yoga class, meditation. You can also watch a Christmas movie together, or you can go on a nice nature walk and reflect on the year. These moments really bring closeness without spending or overconsumption. But now the big question: how do we make gift giving more minimalist? So my tip number 6 is to create a healthier gifting culture in your family. Many people feel overwhelmed and stressed by gifts. Still, they repeat it every year simply because no one lets the change. If your family gifts unnecessary things, try this. First, find the people in your family that may be open to gift fewer things. Team up with them, talk to them before Christmas and suggest a simpler system. Everyone draws a name and then just buys this one gift for one person within a set budget. You can bring up this idea at this year's gathering and then also draw the name right away. Now everyone has 1 year to actually observe what the person that they draw the name needs, and they can get a gift for them. This honestly creates a Christmas with less stress but also more intentional gifts. But now, what about those small gifts that, just these little gestures that you want to bring maybe to a Christmas dinner or to some friends? So my tip number 7 is to choose a signature gift. A very common moment where we sometimes overconsume is when we are invited at someone's place or to a restaurant and we have to bring something small. But then we don't know what to bring. We maybe go to the gas station and buy something stupid. That is why we always think of one signature gift and buy it in bulk. This year, our signature gift is a dumpling mix that we loved. We found it this summer in a local store. It's locally produced by a small business. She does this dumpling mix, and I think it's a very cool gift because it saves for our friends and family a common problem. Everyone sometimes has this problem. We don't know what to cook for dinner. And this dumpling mix is just a dried mix where you can create a very nice meal out of it. It's a small gift, but since we very much enjoy and love food, especially local food, it's definitely the perfect gift for us. Additionally, we also found a very nice wine without alcohol that looks and tastes exactly like real wine. Many of our friends want to drink less, but it's sometimes hard to find good drinks that you can still enjoy with a meal. So additionally, we keep some of those bottles at home and bring it to gatherings. Another common question that many worry about, I think, is what about the kids? What can I gift to kids? So my tip number 8 is active communication. No one wants to disappoint excited children, and that's why many buy excessive gifts. But the result is just chaos and waste for the family. The solution is very simple. You have to actively communicate. Ask the parents. Especially with children, there is always something that they truly need. Shoe items, sport clothes. It doesn't have to match your values perfectly. It just has to be something that the children actually use. It's not your task to raise the children. I personally also communicate my wishes very clearly. For example, I really wanted a cherry pit heating pillow again. So I gave this wish to my husband and made it a little mission for him to find the most beautiful and practical cherry pit heating pad for me this year. So now that we have the gifts sorted, the last 2 tips are about how to make the actual festivities more meaningful and minimalist. So my tip number 9 is to be the game master and the sous-chef. Many family gatherings can feel very heavy, be it emotionally or also food-wise. My tip is to take an active role. My favorite role is to be the game master. I always prepare a game. I just watch some gaming shows, for example, on YouTube, or I go to a board game library and borrow some stuff. Right now, my family is obsessed with the game Imposter. It turns every family gathering into such an event. I also personally don't really like to feel very heavy from all this food, so I just always suggest to bring something like a very nice salad or a lighter version of the dessert. That way we all still feel good afterwards and can actually move and do some activities. So now that we have made our event more fun, there's one last tip that comes truly from my heart. My tip number 10 is that you care for others, but also for yourself. Christmas can also be lonely for some people, and maybe for you it can be overwhelming. So care for others and for yourself. Please invite people that would otherwise be alone. I personally find this such a nice gesture. My family used to do it sometimes when they knew someone who's lonely, and it doesn't only help them, but it also makes the family gatherings usually more interesting and fun. To take care of yourself, please reduce your screen time, especially around Christmas. It can be so overwhelming with all the gifts popping up, all the advertisements. So just put away that phone sometimes. The perfect opportunity would, for example, be a little nature walk or nature activity. Enjoy this time outdoors. Write in your journal or take small breaks. I even know many people that do a little pre-Christmas trip to just go away and enjoy yourself for a while. And then lastly, please donate unwanted gifts. I know it can feel hard because someone gifted it to you and they wanted you to like it, but if you don't like it, that gift is now yours and you can do with it whatever you want. In our country, there is something called 2 times Christmas, where we can just bring unwanted gifts to the post office and then they give it to people in need. I'm sure there's something like this in every country, so please donate and give it to families who actually will be happy and joyful about your gifts. Those were all my tips. I wish you a wonderful, beautiful Advent season. Bye!